Welcome back, friends. This is Ridgeview's podcast, where we try to cover everything hope, healing, and recovery related. It's always a great pleasure when we're able to have guests from the surrounding community, especially partners. And my guest today is Billy Edmonds, the Executive Director of Free Medical Clinic. Welcome. Glad to have you.
Good to be here.
I should say glad to have you, neighbor.
That's right. We're just across the street.
We're like 2 blocks from each other. So let's just start at the beginning. Tell me a little bit about the Free Medical Clinic and your locations.
Yeah, well, it all started with Dr. John Oxher. He grew up in Kentucky, and our people from Appalachia care for each other. We've always had this spirit of, if a neighbor needs help, then we help that neighbor. And he grew up with that kind of spirit, that was transplanted into him from his family. And so he came into Oak Ridge. He's worked at the plant. He had some major titles. You can see all that on the website. But he never forgot that. He never forgot about helping people. And he really had a deep passion to help people who could not afford medical care, especially in the Oak Ridge area. So he joined with Dr. Kim, who was doing some free medical clinic work. And he was beginning to discover about in 2008 and 2009 what the possibilities were. And he began to approach some people to mobilize help for the people that couldn't afford it, and it just launched a free clinic. You come in, there's no doctor bills, there's no insurance that you have to be worried about, and you'd be surprised about how many people in our area have that need.
Yeah.
In fact, Morgan. So he focused on Oak Ridge first, and then it started expanding. We have now a clinic in Harriman. And we're about to launch one in Briceville, August the 10th.
I saw that on the website.
It's so exciting. And we serve residents of Anderson, Morgan, and Roane County. So you have to live in one of those 3 counties. You have to meet a low-income requirement, which is very generous, and you have to have no insurance.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. Last year we were able to have about a little over 4,900 patient encounters, which is about $3 million worth of value of care for the medical field. So we just give it away.
Well,
we just help people.
I encourage folks, whether you're listening to this or watching it, to go to the Free Medical Clinic's website and look at the providers. It's amazing the top shelf treatment that folks can receive there. But I have to be honest, Billy, there's part of me that is, it's the service is incredible, incredibly important. But there's an element that it's so sad that we've got to have free medical clinics for people that they don't have insurance. They are underinsured. Are you seeing more of that more and more people don't have any kind of coverage? It's
really a gap issue. The people a lot of times when I'm engaging with people, they'll say, well, these people are just lazy, or they're they don't deserve this, that, and the other. But it really is a gap issue, because the people that we serve are not poor enough to get TennCare, and then they make too much money to get TennCare, and they don't have enough money to pay for insurance. And it's usually people that may have 2 or 3 jobs, working part-time, where their business doesn't provide health care. And you would never guess how many people in Anderson, Morgan, and Roane County meet that requirement. There's over 14,000.
Wow.
That can't get insurance or can't afford insurance.
Wow.
In our area that need our service, that qualify for our service. An average person would probably come in about 3 times a year. When you and I get sick, we just go in about 3 times a year to the doctor. So you're looking at 45,000 patient encounters that we would need to be prepared for. And people ask all the time, well, why are those people not coming in? They don't know about us. For some reason, there's this, this blind spot in our communities that we even exist. Yeah. So I want to thank you for helping us get the word out. Yeah. You're such a valuable partner. We love partnering with Ridgeview, and to help us get the word out and say, hey, we are here. Yeah. People are living in fear, and it's not only sad, but it's sad to live in fear. Yeah. And that's what they're afraid. What if I get sick? What if I get injured? What's going to happen with me being able to put food on the table? And they are making those choices. They're making the choice of, do I go to the doctor and pay for a doctor bill because I don't have insurance, or do I put food on my table? And that's the kind of fear that they live in. And I know that probably people have talked about COVID-19 till they're about fatigued, but the whole point of that, when COVID-19 hit, I got afraid.
Yeah.
And I have insurance.
Yep.
I'm sure you were thinking, we're all living in fear. Well, think about this. Think about, you get COVID-19, you've got insurance, so that's not a worry. So you have all this other fear. Think about having the fear of COVID-19 and not having any way to help if you get it.
Right.
And so it's just a sad time for those people. We want to. One of our main objectives is, if we can, is to alleviate that fear. Is to take that fear away and say, you know what, you don't have to be afraid if you get sick.
Yeah.
You don't have to choose between food or a doctor, because at the free medical clinic, as always, there is no charge.
Yeah.
And people can't believe it.
Yeah.
They'll come in and say, now, I know that y'all say this is free or there's no charge for
There's gotta be
doctor.
a
There's
catch.
got to be a catch. But there isn't.
Yeah.
Because a group of people like Dr. John Oxshire, Mary Lou's wife, who still champion his cause, and a group of volunteers, the group of our staff, that's why we exist. We exist to not get paid by the patient and that doesn't have insurance. So it's just such a joy.
Well, the episode prior to this one was Ben Harrington with the Mental Health Association of East Tennessee, and we were talking about one of the factors being the stigma associated with folks seeking help if they have a mental health issue. And you mentioned the fear that people have with the heightened risk and worry of getting sick when I don't have a means by which to pay for it. Do you also get a sense of folks, a level of stigma associated with, I don't have insurance to provide for my own health as well as maybe other family members? Is it fear and stigma, or is
it's probably a little of both. The stigma, I think, comes from depending on the generosity of others for yours. When we think about staying healthy, it's on the level of food and shelter. It is that survival mode. How can I survive in life?
Yeah.
And they're facing so many challenges from all different directions of their life. It's like going to a food bank. There's no shame in going to get food at a food bank if you need food. But it's like, what are others going to think of me if I can't provide for my family, that I have to depend upon others? Yeah. And so it's that generosity concept. In the population that we deal with, probably 80% of them live there. They live in that day-to-day survival. 20% is probably in and out because they lost their job, especially during COVID-19. But it's interesting that you mentioned about the mental health issue. Because, there's always been a stigma of, well, I went to a counselor, and you don't want to tell nobody, or you have mental health issues. I think people are realizing during COVID-19 that all of us are capable of having some depression. All of us are capable of being discouraged. All of us are capable of having mental fatigue. Yeah. When you're hyper vigilant on every end. I mean, when I first went to a store when we had to wear a mask, I remember walking, it was like a ghost town mainly, but when you did see somebody, they were looking at you like you were intrusive just because you're on the same aisle that they were on. So there's this constant hypervigilance that you have to have
for a year.
For a year, we're not for a week, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we can handle it, but for a year, I know my own self.
Yeah.
I noticed myself saying I'm mentally tired. Someone the other day said, say one word about what this last year has done to you, and I use the word spent. I just feel spent. I just feel like I've given all I've given. You've done all you can, even going and getting the vaccine, which we were the first clinic in the area to be able to provide the vaccine, which we're real proud of. We've done over 26 events around the community. But I remember when I got the first vaccine, it was just like something you'd see in a movie. I mean, you felt like this is just surreal. I mean, it's kind of scary, but then the second one was like, okay, I guess I've done all I can do.
Yeah.
It just is. So I'm hoping that some positive things will come out of COVID-19, helping each other, going the extra mile, but also getting rid of that stigma that everybody needs help, because we saw people, we had to actually change our policy. We've got such a generous board. Our board of directors really have a mindset of the vision of why we exist. And that's vital if you're going to really help people. And, we have this thing where you have to have no insurance. You have to have a certain income level. If you go above that income level, then you can't qualify for some of our services. We had to change that because people lost their job during COVID, and their annual salary was higher than that, and they were left without insurance. So we actually said, you know what? We should not expect people to fit our framework when this really was a historic event. Yeah. I mean, this pandemic is historic. So we changed that. We said, you know what? For those people that lost their job during COVID, we are there for you. Yeah. And we will, consider your income differently because of that.
Yeah. No, I mean, It's a great point you bring up. Ben, one of the previous guests, highlighted that prior to the pandemic, about 1 in 5 people experienced a mental health issue. Post-pandemic, or because of the pandemic, it's now 2 in 5. So
I can't imagine it not being higher.
Yeah.
If people were honest, every single one of us are going to have issues because of this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, so not only are we neighbors here, we're also neighbors in Harriman. We're like 2 blocks from each other there.
It was rigged, wasn't it?
It was meant to be.
We were, God, it was meant to be.
In Briceville, tell me about why that community. How did that happen?
Great question. Briceville has been hit so hard through various economic challenges, and what's interesting about Briceville, and it's sad that even if you have insurance, there's no place to go. It's become a community that has really suffered on every end. And then Dr. Kim in 2018, he had a free medical clinic one day a week there. He had to shut it down. He's retiring. We need to pray for him. He's having some health issues himself, and so let's pray for Dr. Kim. But and so I have a friend. His name's Kenny Raines. He's a pastor at First Baptist Harbor Springs, and he said, Billy, we have a building. That building was owned by the Clinton Baptist Association, and we let Dr. Kim use it. Would you all be interested? And, man, what opportunity. Yeah. What an open door. So rent-free, right? And so I thought, well, let's look at the possibilities. We started doing our research around the area. I walked the streets just talking to people, just trying to get to know them and see what the needs are there, and everything just fell into place. We had some people who on the board. We had Maria Hooks, incredible lady who works there in Lake City. She had a burden for Briceville, and she became our project leader. We started writing grants and looking for some support. The United Way of Anderson County gave us a 3-year grant, and I'm telling you, things fell into place. And so August the 10th, just a few weeks away, we're going to have our first day there. And we've actually, this Saturday, we'll be providing our second COVID-19 vaccine event in partnership with Briceville School.
Wonderful.
So it's just been, we want to help that community. That community needs to remember that they're not alone and that there's hope and somebody cares for them. So we're real excited about that.
Well, I'm glad you gave a shout out to the United Way of Anderson County. They've been big supporters. They make a big difference here in the community. They've certainly helped out Ridgeview with our indigent medication management program, so we appreciate them. That's a good reminder. I need to have Naomi.
Naomi has got to come. Yes. Naomi, she's awesome. I'm glad that she went after me. If she'd gone before me, she's a tough act to follow. She's a pistol.
Yes. Other ways that people can contribute. I know you've got an event coming up. Tell us about that.
The Bash. We do it every year. Last year we were not able to do it because of COVID-19, so we did it virtual. We did the best we could. So I came a week before COVID hit. And so can you imagine taking over medical clinics a week before COVID hit?
Welcome,
and so I've never lived the Bash,
director.
But it's a legend here. Yeah. I hear the Bash is something people love to be at. So I can't wait to see the first one live on August 21st from 6 to 9:30 at St. Mary's Catholic Church. It is a fundraiser. 100% of the money goes toward patient care, which we're excited about. And it's about dancing. Yeah. People are crazy enough to say, I will dance in front of other people. We've got incredible teams. There'll be some advertisements of who those are, but you're going to know who they are. Good. And they're going to come and dance in front of people, and they're brave. They're crazy, and that's why we love them. But get this.
I applaud their courage.
Well, you need to be maybe next year. So now invite me to come do a podcast. I'll come invite you to dance.
Whoops.
So here's what's funny. The Dance with the Stars, it's about how good you dance. This is about how much money those teams raise. So they get all their network to, give money for them so they can win. So you can actually buy this win. You can buy the win, and it's not about how good you dance. It's supposed to be a fun, it's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a really fun night. The theme is Bonanza. So it's the Bonanza theme. And you can go to our website and watch our little spoof replica video of Bonanza. And so we're going to dress Western and come out and have a good old time.
Good. Well, I only have 2 friends, Billy. You and Ed. So I don't know that I could.
Well, we'll be good ones, won't we, Ed?
So, we'll make sure we have the link to that information on the details below. So, folks, make sure you check that out. Well, let me just take advantage of this opportunity to tell you we are big supporters of the free medical clinic, and here's a check for you from Ridgeview to you all.
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much.
And the reason we want to make sure we continue our support of you is that so many of the folks that we serve here in the community, though we have funding through Behavioral Health Safety Net or other grants to connect them to behavioral health care, many of them do not have primary medical care, and we can refer them to the clinic. So it's a great resource to help promote the overall health of the folks that we serve. So,
and we refer people to you all. What a great, you do what we can't do. We do what some of the things that you all can't do, but what a great teamwork.
Yep.
That, we're really coming together. Partnerships like this are so valuable because it creates a better future for our communities.
Yep.
And I just want to thank you on behalf of the Free Medical Clinic. Thank you for this. And I'd love to say this could go straight to the Briceville startup, because let me tell you, I know that we will get some patients who have some mental health issues, but I would like to go ahead and say that every penny of this is going to help to make sure that Briceville happens.
Wonderful.
And just thank you so much for that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. And, I guess as a way just to wrap up, to, highlight and underscore, because folks that are watching this, listening to this, may be wanting to get some help. Maybe they don't know where the free medical clinic is. Maybe they want to know, can I go in? Do I just show up? Do I make an appointment? And I noticed on the website there is a way to submit a request for an appointment.
Absolutely.
They can also call. So please don't let fear get in the way of you getting the help that you need for your overall physical health.
That's right.
And that's what the community resource is there for.
Absolutely.
So, thank you, Billy, for coming
My pleasure.
in.
Thank you for letting me.
Come back anytime. And thank you, friends, for tuning in. We hope that you'll subscribe, tell your friends about it. Don't forget to ring the bell so that you get notification of our next episode. And we'll put links to all of the free medical clinic information in the podcast, and also connect perhaps a couple of their videos to this one. So thanks so much. Take care, and we'll see you next week.
I'm here to participate and volunteer for traffic, and I am starting off my semi-retirement by volunteering at the clinic today. This is the vaccination for COVID. This is exciting.
It is.
I'm happy to be part of it.
Hi, my name is Karen Palmer, and I'm a student nurse at TCAT Harriman. And I'm here today at this COVID event, giving vaccines, helping out with the community. We are excited about providing this service and being a part of the free medical clinic here in Oak Ridge and also in Harriman. So thanks so much for the opportunity to serve this community. We're looking forward to, as students and members of our community, to offer you all the vaccine that will help save us from this pandemic.